Hello,
Hey,
this
what's
is
up?
TKKS 656 PST, October 30th, 2019, and I'm with Josh Bradshaw. Josh, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are
Doing
you?
good? I'm
Yeah,
doing good. I'm very, very happy to see you.
same here, dude. It's been a long time. Got a lot to catch up on.
Seriously. So you're out in Albuquerque babysitting your nieces a lot right
Yep.
now. How's being an uncle?
Oh, that's a lot, man. Especially because I have to balance out with work and also trying to figure out my next move, kind of a thing. So I work full time as well, and then I'm also looking into grad school. So,
What do you do for work? What's your job?
so I'm a juvenile correctional officer, and I work at a youth detention center.
Wow, how is that corrections officer?
It's crazy. Um, at first, it's like it's so out of my comfort zone because it's all about structure and all that stuff and a correctional facility. So, and I'm not like the most disciplined guy myself. Like, I believe in free will and finding your own way. But it's like I guess was lucky enough to have that own experience as myself, like growing up. But these kids didn't have that experience. Like they just, they grew up in poverty and got caught up in the system, whether like whether breaking the law or just their parents were bad, or that way. So it's a different approach to things. So
What do you do on a day-to-day basis?
so at this job, I usually go in. I work with younger ones, so like at this youth facility, these are kids that have multiple offenses. Some of them have drug charges, burglary, burglary, robberies, some even murders. Um, and they're 13 to 17, but the whole facility is 13 to 21. But I work with 13 to 17.
That's crazy. Oh my goodness. What do you do with these very young teenagers?
I mean, it's just kind of the thing is because New Mexico is not super resourceful. It's not as California would be. So it's really they're trying to like blend in things that I don't think they have the resources for because they're trying to educate them. They're trying to give them mental health and those kind of things, as well as give them structure. And I just think like combining all three of those things together is they're doing a terrible job at it.
Who is they? The state? The
The
state of New
state, yeah,
Mexico?
yeah.
Oh wow. In what way? What could they be doing better?
I just think like if they're able to put more money into it, better training, of course, like especially because you got people that have been working there since like the 90s and stuff like that, because this is their career and like they know corrections, right? They don't know behavioral health, they don't know education, and then you have a whole bunch of new people like me who come from uh, education, political background, but I don't know nothing about corrections. So it's like those contrasts, and then like the issues with the kids contrast too, because some of them are either have like that are seriously like autistic or have problems like that. Structure is just not what they need.
What do you think they need?
They need well, one, a lot of it they need is they need love, man. Like they literally need some affection. They haven't had any like some of them haven't had affection in their lives, like at all. That's one thing, but they also need the um, right form of therapy, psychoactive therapy that's like more intense than just counseling or changing behavior. And if you can't afford that, or if you can't hire someone like that, then it's not going to help them at all.
So what's psychoactive therapy?
So this would be like almost psychoanalysis, like really getting into what drives them, rewiring the brain. I mean, I'm someone that's far out. That's like, I mean, I would look into to freaking psychedelics, but states aren't going to look into that because that's way too radical for them.
It's very, very it's off the beaten path for sure. Um,
Because
but I believe they're trying it out in like England or something, and even
yeah,
here. But
because it's like, how are you going to break up a whole bunch of trauma? How are you going to rewire someone's brain that's used to trauma all their lives so they can actually be successful in society?
it's a very, very difficult question to answer,
Yeah,
and especially with the individuals that you work with. 13 to 17. Wow. Um,
yeah.
and so are a lot of them orphans, or
Some of them have. So
how many do you work with?
in this particular, so what they have different units that you mine. I just work with six right now, but it fluctuates up to 12. It depends on like their commitment time and all that stuff. So I specifically work with like six, age from 13 to 17. But in other parts of the facility, there's places that they're up to 21, 18 to 21, the older kids and stuff like that. So that's what I do. Um, and sometimes it just gets kind of mixed up because I think because someone who's 13 is totally different than someone who's 17 in just maturity alone.
A lot of changes go through those like 13 to 21. Like it's a
Yeah.
whole spectrum of like
Mhm.
types of, yeah.
Yeah. And then you have to bring in the whole idea of the culture too. Like it's prison culture is like it's a real thing. Like people start clicking. People follow other people because some of them have that leadership quality that is more, I would say, more extroverted. So they follow the more extroverted people. Then, although it's might not even be the best behavior wise or the best role model for me, because I see leadership differently. It doesn't have to be so overt, but they'll follow that person even if they might not even help them, you know, in their time.
Just because they're just, peacocking. They have the brightest feathers and they talk the loudest and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
So,
do you work in a juvenile facility? A
yeah.
wow. And is that like within the city, or do you have to drive out a little
It's
farther?
within the city. It's so the thing about Albuquerque, it's a really flat city. So it's not as it's really spread out. So it's like if you don't have a car, it's hard to get around because the public transportation is really bad. Buses only go on like certain streets, all that stuff. So before I got a car, I was literally lifting and Ubering all the time.
But you have a car now?
Yeah.
That's good.
So,
Who do you live with?
so I live with my mom right now, and she basically kind of moved out here. She just retired um last year, so
Congrats to your mom.
Yeah, and I don't know if you know my story, the story really. So she basically had to work one more year, and so I couldn't really live with her right after I graduated college. So I came out here, and she worked one more year, and then finally was able to get her retirement and then moved out here. And her pension pretty much pays the rent because it's so cheap out here. So,
That's that's she worked for for government or
she was she was a certified nurse assistant, so she was doing that for almost 20 years.
wow.
So
That's what that's wow. All right, so you said you're looking to make your next move. What are you thinking about as far as your next move?
so I'm looking into grad school right now. Uh, I, I got the book for the GRE, so I'm studying that right now for that. Start application for a school in Florida, and so this gonna be kind of funny. So I go to a bar every week with one of my friends here that I met him. I met him through teaching, and he's a lot older, so he kind of counsels me and he's a mentor friend, right? He's retired.
Wow.
Basically, he
How
lives a
much
life.
older?
He's 60. He's almost my mom's age.
That's
So
much older. I mean,
so
how old are you, Josh? Like 26?
26. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, 60s, a
but
lot older.
but the thing is, he taught me a lot of stuff because I mean, I go out with him to the bar and drink some whiskey, smoke some cigars, and we just talk about stuff. And one of the things he was saying, like we were going over, he's like, "Oh, when are you gonna go?" He's like, Josh, I think you. Why don't you utilize your brilliance completely? He's like, what is stopping you from utilizing like your gifts and talents? And and I was just saying like, well, I just gone through so many different pathways of going through things, so it's just like I kind of drifted or I wasn't fully confident because I didn't really know what I was doing, but I managed to get through it. So that kind of stuff. So we're talking, and one of the things I was saying, I really want to help. Like, I care about all people, but specifically just because I'm black, I really want to help black people. But he knows my background of growing up in Orange County, not really being exposed to black people. So he's like, you should probably go to HBCU for graduate school. So that's one of the and it so happens that this one in Florida has a program that I'm actually into, and it's community psychology. So I'm looking at that.
What school? HPCU?
HBCU, a historically black college or university.
Is that a variant of college or is that a specific college?
Oh, that's a variant of college. The
Okay.
college I was looking at is Florida A&M, which is I think Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University.
Oh wow, is that
Yeah,
Texas A&M? Is that also what they're called? Like
yeah.
agricultural and mechanical?
hmm
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow. That would be I mean if that's what you're passionate about, that sounds what do you want to do within the black community to help it? How do you think you can play your part?
Well, I think one of the biggest things is try to, I mean, work on economic inclusion, knowledge of economics, those things. Like even learning how to deal with credit, finance, like even at the basic level, like those things before you even look at things like mental health and the politics of stuff, voting, being more involved in our own communities, those kind of things.
Yeah, all those things also, play a part within mental health, just being, especially community. I think
Yeah,
community is a huge thing that we don't always have here, easy access to in Southern California.
yeah.
How's Albuquerque's community?
It's kind of rough because the thing is, it's so so one of the things that they call New Mexico the land of enchantment, right? That's the state's motto. But to me, so far, a lot of the people seem trapped. Like, so they also have another name for it, which is the land of entrapment, because people seem to be stumbled. They stumble in their career paths. Um, because they deal with so much other stuff that they can't focus on elevating themselves, so they feel trapped.
How do
So
how do you feel? Enchanted or entrapped?
I was entrapped for a bit, but I wasn't going to stay like that. So I guess you can say I was never trapped in the first place. But I mean, I felt at some points I felt like I was trapped because I couldn't find a decent job for a while. I mean, I was working at elementary school at one point,
You're
and I
teaching?
no, this is like an after school program, almost like YMCA,
Okay.
and that got old because it was super draining. And so then I stopped doing that, and then for a like for a summer, I was just like applying to jobs like at the university here, the junior college, just anywhere, and I couldn't get nothing. So I had to suck it up and work at freaking Goodwill for 6 months, doing donations and shit. And I like that's like was like a low for me because it's like I had a freaking degree from UCLA and I'm getting paid $8 an hour.
Wow, that's legal. Minimum wage is $8 an hour there?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh wow. I'm
So,
sorry to hear that.
I mean, it did it. It was hard. That 6 months was really like hard because you know, like it kind of makes you feel like I don't know. Growing up where we grew up, if like I feel like the culture there made us feel like if we weren't on track, that we were like failures. Do you ever thought about that? Like if we didn't achieve anything, that you kind of felt like you were failing at things.
Yes, completely. And yeah, I mean, for me, I didn't get a job for 8 months till after I graduated. So that was a very, very, I felt like I was failing because, like, I'm sure you were kind of like this. You were like expecting the jobs to just, you were just like, all right, I'm going to throw out 5 applications and get back 3 offers, and then that's just going to be it.
Yeah,
And it wasn't like that, you know,
yeah.
for, from go.
Oh, go ahead, because I was just like I guess the reward of when I was in school, I thought that would translate to when I was done, and it didn't.
It
Like
didn't.
I was on the dean's honor list. I was like, oh shit, I'm on the dean's honor list. I know what I'm gonna. I should be able to get anything. Like I should be able to apply to something. They should see my academics. I have a cover letter, decent resume, and it just didn't pan out for a bit. So
Yeah, it's kind of how life is. It's a huge slap in the face, but I mean, you how do you feel like you bounced do you feel like you bounced back, or how do you feel like
oh, hell yeah. I feel a lot like although this job I have now it's crazy and it's not consistent and luckily I'm about to go on vacation soon, so before I completely burn out.
where are you
But
going to vacation?
I'm going to San Diego.
Oh hell yeah, when are you coming?
November 10th. So 10th to
Sh-
the 16th.
Oh shit, that's a Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that'll be great. And then
Yeah.
how long are you staying?
So
To the 16th?
I plan on being in San Diego the first 3 days, so till Wednesday, and then I'm going up to LA for the rest of the week. I'm gonna go back to college and talk to professors and stuff about grad school and
UCLA?
yeah.
Okay. That'll
So
be good. Then we'll have to hang out on Veterans Day or something.
yeah, definitely. I'm going to a concert on Sunday.
What concert?
Gustaffelstein,
Holy moly, where is that?
Petco Park.
Just him?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. I was gonna meet up with Blake there.
Oh, wow. I'd be down. Oh, I'll have to figure that one out. That could be really good.
All
Just
right.
'cause I
Well,
mean, if you're there,
yeah, definitely. If you want to go, man, let me know.
I'll check it out. I'll check it out.
Okay.
That'll
So
be good. And then, yeah, I can understand you burning out from your job. I mean, super intense. Juvenile
yeah,
correctional facility, dealing with some kids who go through some pretty traumatic things.
yeah. So I mean, besides that, other than that, like the job's been great. It affords a lot of the necessities. Like, of course, I'm like, oh, I'm not balling out like social media or all that stuff would like. You see people going on vacations all the time and all that stuff. Like, if you go on Instagram and all that, and having brunches on Sundays and all that. But it does allow me to have the necessities I need, right? I get benefits, healthcare. I've been able to maintain my health, got a car, able to pay my bills, and that's kind of like what I just need for now. And I can always grow on that later.
Honestly, Josh, you could have the brunches and the vacations and just throw it on a credit card and then have $12,000 in debt, you know? It's like there's priorities that
True.
not everyone, you know,
Yeah.
not every I mean, I hope the people who are going and doing these things, these like brunches and, going on lavish vacations really have the cash. But
Yeah.
sometimes they don't and
Mhm.
they really just have the credit. So
Yeah.
it's just like, at the
Mhm.
same time, it's as long as we're all living within our means,
Yeah.
that's really what
Yeah.
matters.
Because anyway, that's kind of a mirage. Anyway, it's that
It is a
FOMO.
mirage.
It's a FOMO. It's the FOMO in us, right?
Fear of missing out.
Yeah.
FOMO is true. FOMO
Hmm.
is real true. I mean, and really, at this point, for me, family is more important than traveling. I mean,
Same.
traveling's nice, but family and friends, really, it's like I could just stay here and, hang out with them.
Yeah. So.
Nice.
Hmm.
So, what types of, are you still exercising?
I need to do it more often. I just started kind of going back to the gym um, a few weeks ago. One of my coworkers, or the guy who trained me, was a former receiver at UNM here, and he gave me a workout regimen that's kind of insane.
What type of regiment? What's on it?
So it would be a 6 day workout, like a 6 day workout regimen. Um, you have chest, which are pretty much push, pull, legs, push, pull again. So 6 days, and then a few core workouts afterwards. And so you would have like, let's see, 4 sets of flat bench, 4 sets of 8 to 10. Then you have 4 sets of 8 to 10 on dumbbell bench, 4 sets at 3 sets of 12 on pulls, on chest pulls, like using the extension ropes, lat pulls.
So, lots of weights and lots of machine work.
Yeah,
That's not my type of routine at all.
I don't even. I mean, I try, but I'm like, I don't really enjoy it. Sometimes I substitute the chest workout for this other one where it's supposed to be intense, so it's like 10 sets of 15 on flat bench.
Wow.
Then four sets of 8 to 10 on dumbbell incline, and then chest push on the strength on the freaking extension. So yeah,
Nice. That sounds like Elisa workouts. Elisa
yeah.
Niguel High School football.
Oh yeah, Coach Acock, right?
Coach Acock. Honestly, when I look back on what was trying to teach us, he was trying to teach us a lot of really, really good things. Like a lot
Yeah,
of he was trying to get us into, calisthenics and
yeah,
nutrition when nobody was talking about nutrition at all.
yeah,
So it's just like he just the presentation is key in how
yeah,
if you're gonna you know marketing is key, and maybe he
hmm
wasn't
yeah,
probably. It's hard to market to 17-year-old boys.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I remember that. A lot of, especially everyone on the team, definitely wanted to do their own thing, and they thought it was a joke, but it worked for me. I mean, I was
Pound for
fine.
pound, you were the strongest guy on the team, weren't you?
Yeah,
Oh man, that was, dude. How much did you weigh then, and how much do you weigh now?
honestly, I fluctuate. Like, I so back then I weighed about maybe 160, and now I weigh about 155.
Wow, so not much change at all.
Yeah, except I'm definitely don't have the muscle back then.
Back then, it's a little bit less, but you could probably get
Yeah.
that back real quick.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's just like I notice when I work out, I fill up pretty. If I can just go for a week, I fill out pretty quick. So other than that, like some things have just made me lose weight over time. Like I got my wisdom teeth pulled out, so I couldn't eat, and I just like went down to like 140,
Wow.
145. So
How
so
was
the
UCLA? How was your undergrad experience there?
ooh, I liked it. It was interesting. Like it was a bit of freedom, and one of the things that really kind of got to me was I thought because I was going to get the freedom once I got to college, I thought I was just going to embrace it right away. But then it's like your old habits that you're used to of kind of being so disciplined and stuff and not loose follows you right to college too. So it's like I didn't really embrace the stuff that I wish I could have go back and just be like, I could have took advantage of having more fun and not being so serious. But
Oh, you wish you partied more and studied less.
yeah, I mean, I would sacrifice getting a 3.5 GPA if that included me going to more parties than having a almost a 3.7,
Yeah, no, you don't even put your GPA after the first one, after the first job you get. It's just like,
Yeah.
but
So there's that kind of stuff, but I also I learned a lot, which like in the classroom and out of the classroom, just how people relationship with people and my relationship, how I interact with people and certain kind of things. Like, you know, there's things that really made me learn a lot. One was I dealt with a lot of like I wouldn't say it was race related. It could be, but of course I always put it that way because that's just me. But like I learned about how other people would trust in that stuff. Like one of the main things was on my dorm floor when so I there how UC has transfer dorms.
yes.
So I was in a dorm my first year with other transfer students, and towards the end of the year, everyone's like, "Oh, who am I going? We need to get apartments for next year because we're not going to be able to be in the dorm." So everyone's all scrambling, like who we're going to room with, who we're going to room with, all that stuff. I was one of the last people someone asked. Be like all the other people like just lastly, oh Bradshaw, would you want to room with us? I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, do I just come off as like someone that you think that's not going to be responsible and pay off rent and all that stuff or something? Like, why are you coming to me like on the last week of school?
That's true, but that is kind of you're assuming right there, aren't you?
A bit, but
And did you ask anyone?
I was, especially like towards the end, I was like, what's going on? I need a place to stay. I don't really know anyone. And so, but then also, like during that time, I learned about my dad was about to die. So,
Oh yeah, that's always rough. So your dad
so,
was
so he passed away the summer before my senior year. And I learned that he was failing or declining finals week of my junior year.
Oh, that's terrible. How did that
Yeah.
affect your finals week
Well,
and your summer?
it was pretty rough because a lot of it like one of the things that I learned a huge thing was I don't know, I guess my background is it was always important for me to work. So I always thought about having a little bit of money in your pocket is such a good thing. So I took a job over the summer, that summer, and I worked at parking. And this was getting up at 5 a.m. in the morning to manage the parking garage, and letting staff and students and all that stuff use their parking permits. And then I would go to classes later on in the day and I'd just be totally exhausted. And then on the weekend, my sister would pick me up and we'd drive to Orange where my dad was in the hospital. And I did that for about like a month and a half that summer.
It sounds brutal.
Yeah. And then, so there was that. So, but then what changed it? So I was like, you know what I want to do though? I was like, I would like to embrace. I was like, I want to embrace my culture. So there was another guy I worked with at parking, and I ended up rooming with him. He ended up being my roommate for my senior year. And what was crazy is that he ended up being a. They were going underground for a fraternity that year.
What do you mean
So
underground?
so they were going to they're joining the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, like a black fraternity, and they have to go to the schools, different schools fraternities to join it. And my apartment ended up being the headquarters for it,
That's crazy. How was that?
and it was rough, man, because
Whew.
I was the roommate. So what was cool was I was kind of introduced to the like fraternity a bit just from associating of living there. So I was kind of like an honorary member because I was living there. But that when they were going out to join the fraternity, it was rough because it's like a whole bunch of clashing egos. You know how men are like they're all strong headed and they all want to be seen and perceived as the strongest link and all that stuff. So you'd hear like yelling matches at like 3 a.m. in the morning and stuff like that because they'd be up doing whatever projects they had to do and all that. So
That's very rough.
yeah,
Oh my goodness.
so I ended up doing that. I didn't know they were going to do that, so I didn't know it was going to be like that at all. But it did give me a different kind of experience that I didn't experience when I was in the dorm. So,
No, it sounds very different being the headquarters of a fraternity, living in a headquarters of a fraternity.
well, it's not really a head because they don't have a house.
Yeah.
A lot of black fraternity. I don't think black fraternities have a fraternity house. So this was just like my because they can't be seen together on campus. So so the line brothers or those that were going up for the fraternity that year all came to my apartment.
It was registered with the campus though, right?
No,
Really?
it was an apartment.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah.
That seems not allowed.
What do you mean the fraternity is registered with the campus?
Yeah, I think even because we had some different like multicultural fraternities too, and they
Hmm.
were registered with the campus. Like they had a whole different set of rules, but they like were like part of the campus, like as an associated student group within the campus.
Oh yeah, they are. Of course, they're
Oh,
that.
they
But
are.
it's just that
They're
you
not
know
in
how
the
like
fraternity system. They're
they
not.
are, but it's not like they don't have a house. Do you know how like
I understand. Yes,
other
because you see.
fraternities have fraternity houses and they have frat row right across the street from where the campus is. It's just black fraternities do not have a house.
Yeah, I I understand that.
Yeah, so
So that
they
house
kind of
was
just
your
have to.
apartment.
Yeah. And I
Oh,
was,
good.
I don't know. But that was like, so that was rough. A rough year, pretty much. Like a lot of different things. Like one of the things I realized, like throughout the year, there's times I was so stressed and focused that I would look at like, so my roommates they would smoke weed every day,
Jesus.
right? And at the time, I was like against it. Um, I was just like I would not do anything. I would just be so focused on school and trying to keep things organized because there's a lot of people going in and out of the house and I saw myself being kind of an ass eventually, like anal, like really like not in the best mood all the time. So, but my roommate said in the beginning that he would convince me. He's like, "You're going to be starting to smoke with us, like eventually." And I actually started to, and it was actually it really at the time it helped. So it calmed me down, and I was able to probably be the most creative I ever been when it came to writing and all that stuff. And I just like felt really great at
Do
that
you
time.
do you write, Josh?
Yeah, I have a few journals now. Almost done with one that I probably started maybe in 2018. So,
What
but
do
I
you
have
write?
random stuff. I write about um, ideas I have. I write about like stress I'm going through. Um, Sometimes I write about crushes I had,
Oh
things that
God.
unrealistic crushes that I had to try and make work out.
Oh goodness, I can only imagine, Josh.
Yeah, those kind of things. So
So journaling, lots of journaling.
yeah, that's something that even now today, I go to therapy and just counseling, really.
What type
And
of therapy? So
this guy is kind of a counselor. I went in there mainly because I was stressed from my current job because it's so draining, right?
yeah.
But then he's like, it ended up being like more of a career. He's like, oh, you need more like career counseling. He's like, yeah, it's like about where you're gonna do next. So he really is big on journaling. So I
That's what
started.
got you started?
No, I started journaling back in high school.
Do you
Like I,
What would you write back then?
well, one would be because I listened to the music that I listened to. I would try and form up. I'd basically write poetry at that time. A lot of it I listened to from J. Cole, Kid Cudi, and stuff because they're so influential to me back then. So I would just write to those and stuff like that. I wasn't really writing like journaling back then. It was more poetry. But then I started journaling kind of once I got into junior college.
Writing poetry is a lot of fun. I've written a little
Yeah,
bit of poetry myself. It's
yeah,
really, really stress relieving.
yeah. I should probably get back into it. But there's a few other things I want to learn about. Like I want to learn like some maybe fiction fiction writing, those kind of things. I've gotten into comics recently because I mean comics are just huge right now. Like especially with all the movies that they make out of them and all those things. I read about astrology, um, and then try and bring in just current events and the politics and all that stuff, and try and blend it together. I don't know. I've got ideas, but I haven't really took the time to write or learn how to draw in that kind of way. So
Draw in the sense of comics.
yeah, so
That's a that's a whole nother form of art, comics versus writing. I
yeah,
mean, the drawing part of it, the dialogue and the drawing, it's huge. I mean,
mm,
it's a whole nother platform.
yeah. So
Mm.
it's kind of something I'm looking at. I need to find a hobbies. That's what I need to do. Hobbies and interests. Like so, it's not just like oh, I'm looking for career. Oh, elevate my career. Elevate my career. That's good, but it's like it will just cause a lot of stress. So it's like you got to
You
find
can't do that 24/7.
yeah things that help you unwind that are fun and those kind of things. So
Fun and don't, destroy your body in any way. It's
yeah,
like and are really easy to do, like writing poetry, playing an instrument, drawing a little bit. I tried to draw. Drawing for isn't my thing, isn't my medium. Maybe
it's
painting, but I
yeah.
just did not like drawing.
Okay. So what have you been doing for the last like couple of years? I did talk to Ashcon, and he said that you let him sublease from you when he moved down to San Diego. I guess.
Yeah, just for a month because he
Oh
needed a and I was out traveling. My first job, I had a lot of traveling for that.
yeah.
Um, so I let him sublease out, and I've been doing good. Just here, chilling in San Diego. Um, working for the Navy. Uh,
Okay. So you're
well,
a
a
Navy
contractor,
subtractor.
contractor for the Navy. Yeah,
Okay. Cool.
and that's been good. I enjoy living here. I like my job, I like the people I work with. So
Nice. What part of San Diego?
I'm in Mission Valley. Do you remember when you came over to my house and stayed the weekend?
Yeah.
Um, near there.
Oh, okay. Mission Valley. It's kind of, if I'm not mistaken, isn't it kind of close where that like IKEA and Costco is?
I live right by IKEA and Costco.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Where does your
Cool.
brother live?
He still lives at the freaking crossroads in La Jolla.
That's a great place to live.
I
And if he
know.
works by there, I mean, that's a great place to live. Does he live by himself?
Yeah.
So the only time he had a roommate was when you lived with him?
No, so what he did was so I lived with him from to 2015, right? So he moved out and then he moved in with a friend that he worked with. And they lived, where do they live? Kind of close to USD
Okay.
area, around there. So he lived with them. So they lived with each other for like about a year or two. And then he moved back to La Jolla Crossroads.
La Jolla Crossroads is great. That's why he moved back. It's a great
Yeah,
facilities, nice pool, good gym, really good
true.
gym.
Yeah, I wish he kind of went on a limb and been like, you know what, I'm gonna live in North Park or like another part.
Dude, the traffic. He works. Doesn't he work like in Sorrento Valley?
Uh, yeah, I forgot where he works. I think so. He lives about like 10 minutes south of there. Kind
Dude,
of.
if he lived in North Park, his commute would go from 25 minutes to 55 minutes. Oh
Damn.
man, it's like for sure. I understand. I'd rather live in North Park too, but the commute part is gnarly
Yeah.
from there. They're
Okay.
they're fixing up the trolley, or actually extending the trolley to UCSD's campus, though.
I saw that. Isn't it supposed to be going all the way up to Carlsbad, right?
Not anytime soon,
Yeah.
but I believe one day that's the plan. For now, they're just going to have it go to UCSD in 2021, I think, is the.
Okay. Yeah, because I know they're trying to make it go up to UTC Mall area, right?
That's it. It ends at UTC Mall. So it goes
Uh,
like up the 5 and then through UCSD and then loops around Genesee
yeah.
into UTC Mall. And that's the last spot. And then it's going to come back.
Okay. All right. Nice. That will help. Like, I honestly like this whole thing of why there isn't more public transportation that is more reliant than just buses is kind of beyond me.
I think it's because it was so cheap for cars to be made and for gas. For
Yeah.
most, and traffic wasn't a huge issue. But
Yeah.
now that the population's exploded, it's like this is such, I mean, it's really a huge
Yeah.
money waster on the national scale.
Yeah. Because
Like,
because in LA, so when I was done at UCLA, I asked, so at UCLA, I went to a seminar that was a congressman that represented LA, right? And a lot of the thing deals with because a lot of it has to do with, well, one, his donors, because he represents Beverly Hills and a lot of other parts, right? And if they had so they're like, how come you, all this time, you never wanted a metro train station, right? And he was saying, oh, well, it's more about the terrain, the hills, and all that stuff. The truth is, though, the people that his donors are and backers are in Beverly Hill, they don't want a metro they don't want people from downtown LA taking a train all the way through like Beverly Hills and Bel Air. Like they don't want to bring those people in that area.
I,
So until the pressure really came when like like LA is just really bad right now traffic wise. Like then he's like, okay, I'll approve bringing a metro train to West LA. So they're finally working on that now. And I don't know if you know the demographics of LA is one. You probably heard of Crenshaw, right?
yes.
When I was there about 2 years ago, was boarded up. Like it was the whole place was boarded up. You're like, what the hell is going on? And they're like, oh yeah, they're gonna make a metro. And for that, a lot of the businesses that were bought out, it's basically the start gentrification there, pretty much, because they probably were leased out and they're going to open up, the typical Starbucks, Subway, all that stuff. Like nicen up the place while they bring the metro through it because they did the same thing around USC. USC is like completely different now.
It's gentrified.
Yeah,
Wow. Used to
they
be a
have
ghetto.
I know, right? They have a nice park there and all this stuff. Like just a few stops from USC. When I
That's
took the
great.
metro from Santa Monica downtown, we passed it. I was like, "What? No way! This is where USC is, like right down the street." So
Wow. That's interesting.
yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, you don't. I don't like what it does to the people that used to live there because it pushes them out. But then you're like coming from a suburb, you're like, "Wow, that's really nice."
Yeah, I mean,
And
as
it's a
unfortunate as that is,
yeah,
I have to say, you know, I don't want to just sub just non-violent
yeah,
places versus violence. I mean, it's not
yeah,
even a question. It's like
true.
if you feel safer there, then it's
Yeah,
probably, in my opinion, it's better. Uh,
mhm,
and definitely, like, you know, it's it's a strange way it's going about. I mean, it's going on here too. North Park used to be the same way. Used to be, not very safe to walk around at night, and now it's like you can do whatever wherever.
yeah.
So
I mean, because looking at that, like what happens in LA and in San Diego, because I mean, you got places like in LA, Echo Park and all that stuff too. Those are really being gentrified right now. So I'm in Albuquerque, and they're trying, like, so they started doing it. Only works in certain areas because it. They tried to. They brought electric scooters here. Like
oh, how are
now, like
those?
they have in San Diego and LA, like the scooters, and
Yeah. Do those even get used over there?
they can't stand them over here. The people that been living here think the people that use them are stupid, um, irresponsible. In the first few weeks, there's a lot of arrests on them, like, and a lot of them reported stolen, because it's just not that it's not the place for it here. It's not safe anywhere here. Where everything goes on in this place called Nob Hill, a star athlete got shot and killed. Like someone took one of the scooters and was drunk and drove it opposite traffic.
Wow. I
So
feel like that would definitely happen here too. That's got it. There's for sure no way that hasn't happened here too.
yeah, but it's just like when that happened, and then like you got a lot of people here, like because it's a working class place, and they
Yeah.
just see it as being preppy, and they see it as being bougie. Um,
Bougie to take
yeah,
the scooter?
even yeah, they just feel like that's not doesn't represent the play like the city kind of a thing, and they feel like it's kind of there's places that are it's kind of going through an identity crisis because it wants to keep young people, working people that are educated and all that stuff, but
They
there's
don't.
nothing here to really keep them.
Yeah. I mean, besides yeah, if there's lack of opportunity elsewhere, that'll keep them there.
Yeah,
But
so
um
they try to make it hip and that kind of stuff because one of the so one of the areas I go to here, it's a club here, and what's special about it's where I go to smoke cigars with my friend, right? It's the only place in the state that has a license where you can smoke inside, you know, like and serve drinks. There's no other place in the state where you can get a shot of whiskey and smoke a cigar or smoke like a cigarette. And so the owner who's leasing from someone the building, the original leaser died. So their kid is now like owns the lease owns the building where they're leasing it from, and they're going through a confrontation because now the new owner is like, I need this place to be more hip. I want it to be more like attractive for younger people, the new college crowd, and all that stuff. No, these young kids don't smoke cigars. These kids don't do that stuff. But I think that's what's unique about the place is that you're actually able to smoke a cigar and get a shot if it's the only place you can drink and smoke. But like it just doesn't attract the crowd, the new crowd. So they've been holding out. The owner's been holding out. There hasn't been any alcohol. Like they haven't refilled any alcohol. There's only like two beers on tap because he's trying to prove a point to person that he leases from, but it's going nowhere. He might even lose his own bar.
Yeah, it sounds like he's going to if he only puts 2 beers on tap.
It was terrible. I
Yeah,
haven't been there in about a month or two now because of that. It's just not even worth going there on my days off.
sounds like he's definitely gonna lose his bar.
Yeah. So
That's I mean, I understand that.
kind of going on around here.
It's going on everywhere, dude. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of really, I mean, I don't know about this whiskey bar, but as far as like California, there's a lot of businesses open that are just like not very good. They don't have many customers, and it's just like, especially with Amazon now, it's
Yeah.
like, do we need this much retail in stores, or can we just do most of this online?
True.
And it's
Like,
go.
well, oh, go ahead. No, no, you can continue. I'm sorry.
I guess one of the things that will stay and people will always like is like to go out and eat or go out and drink and have a nice, you know, have some scenery with their, meal or their drink. So that won't end. But yeah, gentrification is definitely real. And you're not stoked about it. You'd rather have the whiskey bar.
Uh, well, I like, honestly, I really started enjoying smoking cigars.
I
But,
I understand. My old coworker also loved cigars.
yeah.
Several of them, more than one.
And it kind of, but doing that kind of brought the idea of kind of class to having fun. Because it's like when you're young, when you're like drinking, it's all about, oh, it's about getting just drunk. It's about drinking as many drinks as you can, as fast as you can, right? Even smoking a blunt or something is the same thing, right? Get as much as you can, get it as fast so you can pass to the next person and get rid of it. But the process when it came to smoking cigars and whiskey, it was like slowed things down a bit. Take a sip, take a stoke, put it down, take another stoke. It's like I don't know. It felt like true leisure to me. So
Leisure is good. Life has slowed down quite a bit, huh? Since
yeah.
like Elisa and Miguel
Well,
senior
especially out
year.
here, LA was fast. San Diego was a little bit more relaxed than LA to me. I enjoy San Diego way more than LA because I just
Uh,
feel like it's more relaxed.
it is pretty relaxed. I take the trolley to work, so my days are very relaxed.
Nice. You don't
Yeah.
have to drive.
Oh man, I really, really love my job for that reason. Actually, I should appreciate my job right now. Give it a big. Just because being on a trolley really is a high. I mean, maybe not in Albuquerque. How's the traffic out there?
It's not too bad. I mean, honestly, this thing is that drivers out here kind of suck.
Yeah,
So
because the
they're
lanes are
not that.
huge and there aren't that many cars on the road.
There aren't that traffic isn't too bad. But the thing is it's during those peak hours where it's bad. So it's like if you're going from let's say the north to the south or east to the west, there's only like maybe so there's like three roads or and three ways to go east to the west, right? There's this one street, another street, and then you have I-40, right? If you go, so if let's say if you're commuting in the morning, if you go after 7:15, you're not going to make it to the east side of the town for like an hour because there's literally only three ways that cars can go to the other side of town. And the same thing is from north to south. There's only the I-25, so it's like if you want to make it to work on time and beat traffic, you would have to leave like the latest like 6:45. Because if you leave at 7:10, you're gonna be stuck in traffic, and you won't get to where you need to go till about 8:15. And this is only like maybe a 10-mile stretch.
Sounds like Southern California.
Yeah, because a lot of people, it was because Albuquerque was not as populated now, but since a lot of people from California are moving there and because that's mainly if you talk to people here, a lot of them say, "Oh, I'm originally from California. I'm originally from New York." Those are the main people that you meet are either originally from California or from New York here. You hardly meet people that are born and raised here.
Wow. I actually met someone who was born and raised there on a plane once, but uh,
Well, that's my experience.
but that's a yeah, different story.
Yeah,
That's very interesting to hear what you just said though.
yeah,
Wow. You know Jose has two kids?
yeah. I saw that.
Oh
You know,
man,
Brandon
dude.
Ritchie has a kid.
Oh wow. I didn't know that. He
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
Wow.
You know, that's something that I don't know. I feel like because his mom reached out to me, and this was the day it was. He's like, Josh, think you can go to his Brandon's baby shower? And I was like, what? And then I was here,
When
so
was
of course
that?
this was I would say like this summer.
Just recently.
Yeah,
Just like 3 months ago.
yeah. And
Okay.
so I was like, oh shoot, he's having a kid. I had no idea. And then he had the kid maybe I would say like the next month after his mom reached out to me.
How do you know? Was it on posted on social media?
Yeah. So
Do you know who the mom is?
not really. No. I mean, I think there's some mutual friends in there, but I haven't met her
Not someone
before.
from Aliso High School.
No. But I
Wow.
think he might be back in Orange County. I'm not really sure though.
Had he left Orange County?
Yeah, he was in Riverside for a bit, I think.
Well, that is. I wish him and Jose and their children the best.
I really do too. Um, that's surprising because like I don't know, you, and Brandon were so freaking close.
We were very close
Yeah,
during
like
the football years. The first
yeah,
two.
like one of the biggest memories I kind of remember is I don't know if you were there. It was me, Coleman, and Brandon, and we're driving to a riding because we were with his mom. We didn't have license or anything back then because it was our freshman year, but we're going up to a UCLA spring football game. And I remember I don't know all three of us. I know Brandon did, but we're like, we all want to go to, I was like, we're going to get into UCLA. And we're so high up on trying to be an athlete and thinking that we had to be like a all pro athlete to get into that school. And this was like, what, 2007? So little did I know that I was going to be graduating from the place 10 years later. And I didn't have to be an athlete. So
No,
it's
you're
kind
just
of
Josh.
it was just kind of nutty that how things work out like that. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you got your degree and now you have a job. That's pretty. I mean, you have a pretty important job, dude. That's
yeah,
pretty crazy to have to counsel young people who've gone through very
yeah,
traumatic childhoods.
yeah. So I was listening to an earlier podcast of yours with Michael, and you guys were talking about like the politics and the debate and stuff.
Were we? I barely
Yeah,
remember. What were we talking about?
just like I guess the Democratic debates and all that.
What
And
do you think about that stuff?
one, honestly, I think uh, who I probably championed the most is Andrew Yang.
I like Andrew Yang a lot as well. What do you like about him?
I think one, he gets me with the idea of I'm like the automation part. Like it's just the realism of automation and how that's really changing how our economics are going to be, especially when it comes to, the big five, when it comes to jobs, transportation, retail, servicing, all that stuff, is going to be automated away. And that's something that we should probably prepare for. So,
So that's what you like about him.
That he's being honest with that. And he doesn't seem like he's being so just the zingers, like, oh, Bernie, fight for 15, or yeah, I smoke weed too, or like everyone else just seems really corny to me.
Like they're all trying to sell something, whereas he's just trying to help.
Yeah, and it just seems like he comes off realer about it and not as just like a politician.
Yeah, I
So
understand.
yeah,
That's it. It'll be an interesting primary for sure.
yeah. I mean, I honestly, unfortunately, I know he's not going to get the nomination,
He could.
but you
I
think?
believe he could. I don't know at all, and I don't necessarily think so, but I definitely believe that he could get the nomination.
Okay, because I was thinking, well, if he couldn't, it would be smart for someone to really add him to their cabinet or something if he doesn't get it.
He isn't even a politician, is he? He's
No.
just like a guy who he's a it's like a CEO of a company.
Yeah, he did like venture capitalism, and he basically, I think it was like a nonprofit in the Obama administration or something like that he ran, and he went to places like he says like in Detroit and New Orleans and stuff where he saw where automation was really like
Taking
taking
its
place.
toll.
Yeah, especially like where basically in the places um, that were the game changers in the last election. The Rusted Belt or whatever they call it. Like Ohio, Michigan,
Florida,
Florida,
North Carolina.
Pennsylvania, because they call it the Rusted Belt because that's where all the manufacturing jobs are. Indiana, where like cars, they build cars, and a lot of those things were outsourced or automated away. So you had a lot of resentment in those areas from policies that allowed that. So Democrat or Republican, so a lot of animosity towards politicians in those areas.
Hey, you can't live with them. You can't live without them.
True.
But yeah, that's a wild ride. The Democratic primary. It's gonna be over in a year, right? We're gonna have right.
Yep.
I think we're gonna have our new president voted on within a year,
Yeah.
like in exactly a year.
Next November.
Oh, that'll be a
Yeah, and then
fun year ahead.
yeah, what is remember that I don't know if you listen to this J. Cole line, but what's he said? He's like, I smell bullshit, it must be an election year.
Is that what he said? Oh
Yeah.
wow, goodness, some good one-liners in rap.
Yeah, there are.
Does he have a new album out?
The last album he came out was that COD album, The Kids on
Oh, that one
Drugs.
wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I
I
liked it.
like that one.
Yeah. That's another thing, I guess. Like, would you say that hip hop is kind of declining?
Oh,
Meaning, like, its content
this was the
and
worst year. 2019 was so bad for rap and hip hop. I can't even begin. The whole year was just drought.
yeah,
I mean, like Kid Kendrick didn't come out with anything. Kid Cudi, Kanye, that was last year, wasn't it? And
yeah,
that
that
was
was
okay.
18.
That
Yeah.
was 18 and that was just okay. Did Drake come out with anything? He came out
Nope.
with something, didn't he?
Scorpion was last
Scorpion
October.
wasn't very good either, in my
Yeah,
opinion. I mean, rap is
yeah,
really just like
yeah,
EDM is the new king for sure.
yeah. Because I mean, I try. It's like so. Basically,
Besides
I,
Post Malone,
yeah.
and he's,
Basically,
you know,
yeah. It's like almost alternative hip hop.
it's
It's post.
alternative.
It's
It's
Post
all
Malone.
alternative. It's
Yeah,
all EDM style hip hop, and at the end of the day, everyone just likes the EDM portion of it. Like,
yeah.
if you've got a sick beat, you can rap whatever you want on there. Lil
Oh,
Wayne
pretty
proved
much.
that.
Yeah, you can just do that, and everyone loves the handles. I mean the the sound bites of the producers in the beginning. It's really all it's like Yo Pierre, can you come out here, or like or Wheezy out here, or all the monikers in the beginning, right? Of the
Yeah, those are the
production. Oh,
Metro Boomin.
Metro Boomin wants some more, Nick, or I'm in London, got my beef from London, like like all those, right? But so I always have like so a large part of hip hop now is the old heads against the new heads, right? And I would say like me and you are kind of in between
Oh man,
because
yeah,
I think
maybe.
we're because I think we're exposed enough to the older stuff, right? Like the tail end of 2000, so we know what Jay Z sounds like. We know what Wu Tang. We know what good hip hop sounds like.
Tupac,
Tupac and Biggie. But then you got this new age, which
Travis Scott.
Travis Scott. But so I'm working at like so in this with my job, like although they're in this facility, they love gangsta. Well, I think it's fake. I don't think these new rappers do anything that they actually say. So you're talking about like NBA YoungBoy and Little TJ and Quando Rondo and all of them like
Quando Rondo. That's a really funny name.
and it's like I don't know. Me and my coworker, like like yeah, like he's like I got a nephew that listens to him and he ain't shit. Like it's like it doesn't really to me. There's so lack of content in it, or just talk about rapping well, not rapping. They always rap about freaking drugs and making bands and all this stuff, right? Which I doubt they actually did that stuff, right? And these kids see it as a real thing. So it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna go out and sell drugs and and get up. I'm like, no one does that anymore. You don't need to have $1 million to record music anymore. All you need is a laptop. So I don't know, from where I work and everyone's talking about what they think they need to build up clout like these rappers do and all that stuff. And it's like, man, I wish you guys kind of knew more about the culture like of it rather than what you assume is from seeing like the videos with them with fancy, probably rented cars for the day, 1 day rental in their music videos and holding a wad of cash that they're probably going to return to the bank later on that day.
Hopefully, return to the bank right later that day, dude. Sometimes they just take that and throw it at a club.
True.
So
If those are real money. You don't even know if it's real money or not. You think they
that's
really print
true.
out real money for music videos?
I'm thinking more along Drake and Rick Ross style of I have a specific music video in mind with a very nice car in it. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking they probably do have the funds, but this Quando Rondo guy, that's probably not the most real brick of cash.
Yeah. I don't know. That's just how I don't know. In a way, you can. Am I a hater? Not really. I don't think I'm a hater.
That's a very good attitude.
It's just like I don't know. I just don't really appreciate it as much as other forms of rap or hip hop that I listen to.
No.
And I know for me, like, because I work with the old, like, an old head, close to old head. He's like, I got a lot of hip hop homework to do for myself. So
We all got a lot of hip hop homework to do, especially with this new age stuff coming out. We all got to go deep back into the history books.
yeah.
So Josh, I think that's about time. Is there anything that you want to say?
Sure. I mean, what else? What didn't really cover too much. I think one of the main things is kind of like taking. I guess even for me is just taking life how it goes. A lot of my things that I kind of stumbled on was kind of letting the situation that I've been in always kind of lead rather than me exactly taking control of the situation. So I guess that's kind of something that I'm going to work on is like, okay, I have the cards that I'm dealt with, but I'm not going to let those like determine where I'm going to go. It's like I got to take my own place in it, to lead it and not let the situation get over me. Those
Throw a
kind of
bluff
things.
here or there.
Yeah. So that's kind of the main thing. So I guess, I'm here where I'm at now, working towards something and just know that I'll get there. Um, and every moment is a learning experience, whether if it's stressful or not. So,
That's the truth right there, dude.
yeah.
I'm really glad that we got to have this conversation and that you'll be in San Diego in like a week and a half.
Yeah. Same here, man. I want this vacation really bad. I just have to do it with one more week and a half of work.
One more week? No, you come back on Sunday, right? Oh, yeah, half. It's Wednesday today. Ah,
Yeah.
holy moly. We have 2 days of work left. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, tomorrow's Halloween. Do you have any plans for Halloween?
Not much. I mean, I work tomorrow. Uh, I'm probably honestly just gonna work and go to the gym after work because I work at night, so it's like I don't work overnight, but I work till like about 10. So it's like I could do something and then be able to sleep in the next day, but I think I'm just gonna go to the gym after work and just relax and maybe do something this weekend.
Hell yeah. Go to a whiskey bar with only 2 beers at it.
Yeah, that or I mean, there's a few concerts here. I might see Maddie on next week,
That would be
or
a great concert.
yeah, ASAP Ferg in December out here, but
Not
it's
as big a
rare.
fan of that one.
Hey, you gotta take what you can get. There's
Yeah, you got to
people
play,
that come out here.
play the cards you're dealt.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm looking forward to San Diego though, so hopefully we can definitely meet up.
We'll definitely do that. Get Ashcon on there too.
Yeah, I said I was gonna. I talked to him and said we're gonna. He wants to meet up on maybe Veterans Day. And do you know? I talked to Alex Long.
Alex Long, though he went to our elementary school. No,
He
Alex.
went to
Yo,
high
Alex
school.
Long, Will Norton's friend. Yeah,
Yeah,
how's he doing?
he's doing good because he goes to Charger games a lot, right?
He still
And I
goes to Chargers games
yeah.
even now. That's
Yeah.
not. That sucks.
Well, I was
I'm
talking to
honestly not a Chargers fan anymore, Josh. Like I
you're not?
really have no. I don't even have any that much. Like if they do well, I'm kind of stoked. But after that last playoff game against the Patriots this past January,
Yeah.
I've never been more like hopeful, and it's never been so just blatantly just terrible. That
Yeah.
playoff loss was awful.
Yeah, it
But
was.
anyways, you were saying Alex Long.
So yeah, well, I mean, I asked, I'm like, hey man, I wouldn't mind going to a Charger game, but I'm like, I don't know if I want to really fly out to LA for that.
And
But
paid the money for the
I
game
mean,
too.
even I could go to. I mean, Denver is not too far either, so I could go there. But I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that. I probably would wait a year for it. But he said that he might come down to San Diego too, and probably go to a bar at Gas Lamp or something.
That could be fun. Let me know, Josh.
All right, yeah.
It was very good speaking to you.
Same here, man. Glad to talk to you for it's been a
And
while. So
yeah, an extended conversation.
yeah.
All right. Well, have a good night, and I'll see you soon.
All right, man. You too. Peace.
Later.